Hello. Um, Sorry about that. Well, I've recently got a message on my blog spot. It's called Scary Creepy Stories with a Z. And it's by a guy called Jack Rowe. And he says, "Hello, Emily. I've been reading these stories and wow, are these really true? Because they seem a little unreal, if you get what I mean. Mine isn't scary, but it's something that I had when I was a little kid. As a little kid, I would always make up imaginary friends, and I knew the difference between real and fake. But for some reason, one day, I met a boy, and we became best friends within minutes. One day, my mum came up to me, and asked who was I playing with, and I said, John. She asked if if he would like to stay for dinner. I said no, because he has to go home to his parents. See, I would always say yes and pretend to let them have dinner and always end on a good note. But Mum had never ever heard me say no. John always came round after school and left at 6 p.m. before dinner. I asked Mum about him a little while back and asked if he remembered John. Her face dropped a little and said, "What? One of your imaginary friends?" I replied with no. John, who was a real mum, came round like every day for a year. For years even. Until he had to move away. She shook her head and said, "There was no John, sweetie. He was an imaginary friend like you made up. Remember? We went to a psychologist to talk about your friends." Thing is, I've never forgotten about psychology, and I never had imaginary friends after that meeting. But John always had been there. Do you think John was a ghost child, or that my mum couldn't see, or am I just nuts? Let's go with the stories, and I hope you can reply to me soon. I replied with, "Hello, Jack. Well, it seems weird. I guess is the best way to put it. Maybe your mind seems to make up real and make him real until you convince yourself as a child that he was so real that he couldn't be imaginary. And so therefore you couldn't get rid of him. One for the books, I think. Just let me know if anything else happens. By the way, they don't have to be true stories on my blog. I thought I might share a few to get the mood going. P.S. It's not that we are mad, it's because it's what the world makes us mad, my friend." He claims this is a true story, and personally, I can't judge him and say no it isn't, but it'd be nice to know if it really was. A lot of people would say that's what his mum did, took him to a psychologist. But we never know. I guess.